Hey guys, back again, and what we're going to do now, let me just go here, is say ng-serve and wait for this to load, and we're going to build the post because it's something pretty small to build. So let's go to post module. We're adding everything here. We already did all this, the main component and the main component TS. Okay. So we need to go to the post component TS and start adding the functionality for this to work. So I have this name as other on my other. Let me just check. No, it's not that one. Okay, sorry, it's post component. Okay. So we're going to make this quick. We're going to blaze through this because if you're just checking this, then you are you know how Angular works. If not, I have other videos with ArcGIS for Angular, so you can check the basic Angular stuff, adding services, checking for HTTPs, whatever. So I have a ton of things about Angular in the channel, so if you want to check those. So we import the post service from the service we have. We deactivate the routes and router from the Angular router that already comes implemented. Is not the React and Vue stuff that I don't know why they don't have their own routers. So map and RxJS operators and subscription RxJS, okay, from RxJS. So why do I have the subscription? Because we're going to close the subscription in this case. So I'm going to handle it like that. Why? I don't know, but I will handle that because we should use async, or well, it's this is the same thing. The only thing is that with subscription we do it by ourselves, and with async inside the template, so it will be something like, I'm not in, will be something like adding a pipe and async. Okay, we would Angular would do it for ourselves. It's going to do it in the background, but with subscription we destroy the subscription manually. So let's just do that. I think I just wanted to do it because to explain maybe OnDestroy, because I think we don't use OnDestroy too much anymore. So let's add OnDestroy, and we need to implement it here. Just add a comma and say OnDestroy, and we will complain because we don't have the OnDestroy here. And you can see class post component correctly implements interface OnDestroy. So what I need to do is ng OnDestroy and add the if you want this, you can add void because we're not going to return anything. And I will add later an Angular video using more typings, so you can get actually the stuff that is with TypeScript. The important thing that is the typings that is going to allow us to restrict what we expect, what we can return, and all that, so we can see any error that could happen right away in the code. So let me just go to my constructor and get all this. I'm going to break it a little bit, and let's just break it. So you can see public post service is the type of post service. I'm using private route because I don't care to share this with other components or with other stuff. So only this component can access these two things. Okay, so we need to set the public current ID because we want this. What is going to happen is that when we click this, it's going to return us the ID, and we want to get that. How do we get that? We set public current ID to the route snapshot param map, and we get the ID. What is going to happen, or what that is going to do, is only get us this. Okay, so this ID comes from the routes. Where the hell are my routes? Post service is routes routing module is this. Okay, so in case you have ID shoelace, you will need to add ID shoelace to match that parameter, okay, because that is the name that we want to match. Okay, so public post is going to be not equals but the type any. In this case, what you could do is set a new interface. Maybe we will do that later in another. Well, why don't we do this? Let's build something with Angular 10 or Angular 11, whatever is the latest, and go through the models and all, not the models, but interfaces and all that, the typings, and we make a video or a series building something small using an API, of course, because we will always want to use an API, and explain all that stuff in those series, so you can get the latest for Angular and learn the best practices, because this is just for convenience. This is not best practice. Okay, so we would say in that case to specify a post interface, and you will need to import the interface from whatever folder you have. Okay, and this interface is going to maybe be something like post equals. Okay, this is not it. Okay, this is not the syntax, but just so you can understand, it should have title, and it's going to say string and the type. Okay, in this case this should be a interface post, and I think it's equal, so I can remember. So I haven't worked too much with Angular in these 2 months. I've been working only with Vue, so so that would be it. But we will do something with the latest version of Angular. I will try to always keep the latest stuff for Angular in the channel. So this is going to be any, and post subscription. Of course, I still have pending the Akita stuff. So I'm sorry if you are waiting for that. I will do the authentication and the pagination, but I want to do them in the same stuff, in the same application, but I just haven't got the time. So sorry about that, guys. In that case, maybe I will redirect you to a post that you can see how to implement all that stuff. So we have the subscription. We create this post subscription, which is going to be type subscription. Okay, instead of using the async, just to show you that, I guess. So let's make this, because you should already know what this thing is doing. Public get post is the function. We set this post subscription, which is a subscription, to be the handler or the container for this post service. The get single post, which is inside our service. This current ID, which is the ID that we are getting from the URL. We use the pipe functionality from the observable, so we can map and we can get the response. This is a response from the API. Okay, so this is going to say API response, and the response is going to be structured with this data object. So we use the pipe, so we can just return the rest data as P. Okay, and we can just say this P is equals to this post, I mean, is equals to P. Okay, only to kinda stripe, because if not, if it only say return the response like that, we would see we would need to do response.data. Okay, but this is going to just remove that step. That's why we're using pipe to handle the stream even before we subscribe and do something to that. So we save that, and we will need to add the public delete post, which I have here. We don't have the update because we really don't need that for this specific tutorial or series about testing. So public delete post, we get the string because that is the post ID, which we are going to pass from the HTML, and this post service delete post using that post ID. We're going to subscribe to that and just navigate once we return the once the stream is done. So, but of course, in order to use those, we will need to say this target post for the first function. Okay. So let's go back. I just click this, and am I running this stuff or what? This should be working. Let's open the. Okay. Let's wait for this. I cannot be reached. Okay, that's cool because it's rebuilding. Okay. And you can see we have all this, but it seems I don't have the. Oh, because I'm so freaking stupid. Sorry guys, we still don't have the HTML for that. Okay. So you can see, let's delete, not delete, but let's just close this video. So I was checking something. And okay, so you can see we're getting the stuff from the API. And let's just do something, because just for you to see what is going on here. Let's add a semicolon there because that is what should be doing. And you can see what is the return of the API, this data with the object, because that's how I structure the response from the TypeScript, the not TypeScript. And you can see all this, but with the pipe, we're just removing that step of going inside the data and just returning the data object, which in this case is the P, and is going to have only the content, cover, file name, and title, and all that stuff inside an object. So let's just do the post section, and it feels really good to be working with Angular again, at least in this video. I know Angular is kind of odd, it's kind of a breed on its own, but it's pretty fun to work with Angular, and it's pretty powerful, and RxJS gives you the power you need. Let me just make this smaller. Okay, so what I'm doing here is just saying this div with class banner, checking if we have the post, and the post is coming from this. Okay, so and adding the style of the cover. So we save this and we take a look. As you can see, we get this flower, and we run the other stuff. That is pretty simple. The ngIf, we add this class single. We already have the styles, and we check again if it's the post. We can just get all this inside a container or a template, but let's just do it like this so you can see what is going on. I'm setting the image because I have this kind of banner, and you can see how it's working. This is kind of banner. I wanted to do that to see how it looked. Okay. Of course, you can just display here. Okay, maybe do it a little smaller, or display some tiles. I don't know. You can do whatever you want here, because this is coming from the post. We add the post title, the cover, and the content, and we add this button delete, on which you are passing the current ID. Remember that, guys, if you are still not used to work with Angular that much, we can just specify the current ID that we are using here inside this function, and it's going to work. Okay, So we can just say delete post, and we are going to get redirected, and the post was deleted. Okay, so that is okay. You can see this kind of tiles because it's how the image is being presented, and you can add a filter here to make it look, I don't know, bluish or whatever, just to make it look a little better without adding a crazy stuff inside the design. So you can see that everything is working. We don't have any errors. Let me open the console again, and everything is working fine. Okay, we can go to Angular testing. We can go to home. Well, we are in home actually. There's something here. Oh, it's the button because it's not all the way responsive because I was lazy. And the service, which is something pretty small, and we only have the add post. Okay, go to issues. We have okay. Okay, this is something that I changed recently. I will need to take a look at that. Okay. Although we're not using cookies. Okay, we need to check that. It's not even adding anything inside the console, but it's just a plain browser issue. So, yeah. So what's the only thing that we have left is the add post, that I think we could just do it right away and then move to the test. So in this case, the post is not going to have any testing. Let me just go to post because what we needed, that is testing the HTTP, is already done. To test the redirection is already done. To test a form is already done. And the only thing that we need is to do a little form check using a mockup for a file, and that is going to be it. So we only have the add post. So most of the things are already in place inside the test. So you don't have to do all the tests for all the posts, not the post, for all the pages or components. That is just redundant. Okay, so that's why we're moving this way. So we're almost done, guys, and let's continue in the next video. And thank you.